Hello there everyone, today we are beating The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom without touching any grass. I've already done a challenge like this for Breath of the Wild because I'm a true gamer, so I will keep the rules the same from that challenge. The rules are, if I touch grass in gameplay, I have to reload my save. If a cutscene puts me onto grass, it does not count, and I'm allowed to move off the grass if that happens. I'll be defining grass as green or yellow blades on the ground. So if you see no blades and it's on rock, it's moss and not grass. I have to complete the main story, so I have to get the 5 sages and beat all 6 main dungeons and kill Ganon to win. I will not be doing Dragon Tears since I'm pretty sure they're impossible, and they aren't that fun to go for. Glitches are allowed as well. With that said, let's get started. We skip right past the intro of the game since there's no grass underground. We also skip the Room of Awakening since there's no grass here. Once we dive off the starting platform, we watch the trailer cutscene and land in the water. Now the challenge gets a bit difficult. There's grass all over the path to the Temple of Time. To counter this, we must parkour on the conveniently placed overgrown stone path. This construct is going to make our life hard, but we can just parkour past him. A few more hops later, we get to the steward construct who gives us the pure pad, and we continue to the temple. The big issue here is the fog, which makes it hard to see the grass, but we can walk on this edge of the stone and not get murdered by the robots. Once we get to the grassless Temple of Time, we have to go to the shrines scattered across the islands. Yay! We continue on the conveniently placed stone path to make our way to Ultra Hand. It's relatively easy since the shrine is surrounded by dirt and stone, so we can get the rune with minimal issues. Fuse is pretty simple, just stay on the rocks or in the river and you'll eventually get there. Finally, just make your way through some caves into the mountain area and stay on the stone path and you'll get a scent. To make the return trip back to the temple, take this conveniently placed wing and you're all good. After getting recall, we teleport back to the start of the game and get our final shrine. It's inside an island, so there's obviously no grass. We glide our way back to the Temple of Time and open the door, watch Ryder get Thanos snapped, and finish the tutorial. Now that we've completed the Great Sky Islands, we dive down to the surface of Hyrule, specifically to a small lake west of the Bottomless Lake. This allows us easy access to this wooden bridge and the path leading to Lookout Landing. I built myself a crappy Uber and drove there, but it flipped right as I got to Lookout, so I had to reload. We get to the landing, talk to Pyrrha, and head to Hyrule Castle. Luckily all the grass in Hyrule Castle is burnt and dead, even though it's been about 5 years since the calamity. We have no issue climbing up to Hawes and evacuating the castle. And we activate the Skyview Towers and obtain the paraglider. Take a quick detour to the throne room of Hyrule Castle for the champion's leathers, and then finish up the rest of the quest. I quickly duped some rubies to buy 2 pieces of the Hylian set, and now we have our main outfit for the run. Now we need to complete the regional phenomena quest, in which only the Zora branch is relevant here. Dorito, Gorn, and Gerudo areas don't have any grass. Even the Lanayru region is mostly blue stone, with small patches of grass, so getting around is pretty easy. I mean, do the quest like normal. The only difficulty comes from the Sludge-like fight, but I learned that Sludge-like has a huge weakness to fire, so if you shoot a Choo-Choo Jelly, Fire Fruit, then something at the Uvula, it will be stunned and you can take easy pot shots at it with gems. After completing regional phenomena, we head back to Lookout Landing and trigger the Hyrule Castle quest. After a quick chat with Pyrrha, we launch into the sky and head into Hyrule Castle to kill Zelda. Luckily the castle has no grass in it since all this crap is burnt and dead and literally sapped of life. So we can just skip to the Phantom Ganon fight, which was extremely easy as usual. I also grabbed the Black Boss Goblin Horn and Silver Moblin Horn since they are extremely powerful fuse components for the final fight. Now we have to search for the legendary 5th Sage, who I absolutely hate doing on repeat playthroughs because of how damn long the quest is. To complete the quest, you also need the camera rune, which I got off camera after evacuating Hyrule Castle. It's strange that this is the only time the camera rune is needed in the entire game. You also need 10 hearts, but you get 9 through the main story, so I just need an extra 4 shrines, which I also got off camera. I also did get an extra few stamina, but I decided not to get the Master Sword because I was running out of storage space on my computer. I fell down onto Kakariko, placed a wing near Toro and Paya so I could start the 5th stage quest, grabbed a picture of the slate, and showed it to Toro. I then fly down to this cave and get the charge set while completely ignoring Toro. To get around the fact that the jungle is covered in grass, I ascend up to the top of the dragon pillar and glide to the next one. With a little help from Tulin, we can get to the final pedestal and call down lightning for no reason. I don't know why we need to do this, since the Thunderhead Isles can be explored even without doing this quest. Either way, my footage got corrupted, so imagine you saw me skip over the isles with my hoverbike, do the construct factory normally, since there's no grass here, and get Minoru, obtain and dupe some ancient blades for the final boss fight, and dive into Ganon's giant hole. Down here we run past a bunch of enemies and get to this Lionel. Rather than evaporating it with an ancient blade, I decided to fight it for a white Lionel saber horn, which is the 3rd strongest fuse in the game. After a long, tedious, and honestly easy fight, I killed a Lionel to grab and dupe its horns and head down further to Ganon. The next few rooms aren't too bad, and I did fight and kill the Gloom Hand by bombing it with like an oil-rich country with my new bow. Him again was easy, and I killed him. After this, I was so OP, I didn't bother killing anything I encountered down here. Instead, I just froze it and ran by. Once I got to Gloom's origin, I bombed the living crap out of the enemy waves with a little help from ruby arrows, which surprisingly killed everything in one hit. In the Ganon fight itself, I mostly used White Lionel fused Royal Broadswords, which really did almost as much damage as the Master Sword during a flurry rush. The first phase was pretty easy, only taking a few flurry rushes. Phase 2 got a bit harder with the fan Meganons, but nothing too difficult. The final phase is very intense, but fun since there's a lot of flurry rushing. After a few minutes of flurry rushes, Ganon eventually goes down, turning into the Demon Dragon. This final part of the fight is extremely simple, since it can be done completely normally due to Skygrass not being a thing. Yet, we do it very normally, just striking the weak points one at a time. We strike our final blow into Ganon's big forehead and nuke lookout landing. If someone looked up right now, would I see Link slashing at nothing while riding the air, since dragons can only be seen by the Pure of Heart? What if someone Pure of Heart looks up? Either way, Ganon is dead, and we have one final task. Leave Zelda to die. I mean, catch Zelda so she doesn't become Bokoblin food. We dive down and catch Zelda in an amazing cinematic, finishing the run. If you made it this far, thank you for watching. It means a lot to me that someone enjoys the dumb crap I put out on a weekly basis. If you have any thoughts or opinions, leave them down below. If you have any interesting video ideas, also leave them down below. With that said, have a great day, like and subscribe, and see you guys next time.